You also can. Okay.
Hello, sir.
Okay. So you also can interact. You also can give your thought process. So that's how it is. So what is your feeling? Whenever there is a NAC visit before 2-3 months or MBA visit before 2-3 months, will you be normal or will you have a lot of work? One professor answered a lot of work. What about others? Normal working time, normal working load, or it will be a lot of work?
Lot of work, sir.
Hello, sir.
Lot of work. Very good, very good. Many of you are telling lot of work. So
Working
my
time will be more,
question
sir.
is,
Working time will be more.
Worrying about our documents, sir.
yes, worrying about our documents, lot of work will be there. I understand lot of work will be there. My question is, why lot of work in that 2-3 months only? Why you are worried about documents only in those 2-3 months only? Why not before? My simple question. See, whenever there is an MBA visit, 2-3 months, you are all occupied, you are all busy. Whenever there is a NAC visit, you are all occupied, you are all busy. Okay, 2-3 months, you do a lot of work, lot of documentation and all. Why only in those 2-3 months? Why not before? Simple question. Why not before?
Because some new rules has been adopted, sir, at that time. So
New rules. Okay. Okay. This is a very curious answer. Very good. Any other answers?
Sir, usually we do the work even other time also, but not in organized way. So we'll do here and there. You have to do organization all in sequential order. So for that reason, more work during before that visit.
Sir, good sir. Very honest answer, sir. You have given a very honest answer, sir. Sir has given a very honest answer. He told, sir, no, sir, actually we will work, sir, but we will not be very disciplined before. A lot of work we keep pending. And because of all that pending work, in those 2-3 months, we do a lot of pending work. We don't do work very systematically. Therefore, we end up in problems. And 2-3 months, we have to do a lot of work. That's what sir says. And there's a very honest answer also. That's a very honest answer. Good, sir. See, what happens is, carefully understand, imagine a scenario. I'm just making you to imagine a scenario. If NBA committee is coming next week, HOD principal, let them come anytime. Today also we are ready, no problem. NAC is coming another 15 days, no problem. We are ready with all our documents. Meaning you are ever ready. Whichever committee comes, suppose your Anna University committee says we are coming next week. That's okay, sir, no problem, sir, you can come. And you are leading a normal life. UGC committee comes. Yes, you are normal. You are having your this thing, LIC committee or AICT committee. So, is it possible that you lead a normal life whenever a committee comes? You are ready. You are ever ready. Ever ready. Always ready with all the documents. Can we design a mechanism where you are ever ready for any kind of visit, NBA visit, NAC visit, AICT, UGC, local university visit? Is it possible or impossible? What do you feel? Do you feel possible or sir, it is impossible, sir? What you are telling is impossible, sir. So what is your opinion? Is it a possibility or is it impossible?
Possible, sir.
Possible. Very good. Very good. Possible. Possible. Anybody else? What is your feeling? Is it impossible or is it possible?
Sir, possible, but psychologically we should have to do it. That is the problem, sir. Psychologically, if the exam is there, how you prepare for the exam?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You are right, sir. Meaning, in the last 15 days, 1 month, yes, you have to work a little more, but right now, whatever we are working, that can be drastically reduced. You need not have to put a lot of effort in the last minute. A little fine tuning, yes, little preparation, yes, it is required. As sir said, it is required, but you can be ever ready. Carefully understand, this session focuses on how you have to be ever ready, Any committee comes, sir, I am ready, sir. All my files are ready, sir. As a teacher, how to be ever ready? As a department, how to be ever ready? As an institute, how to be ever ready? So that is the focus of this session. Okay, institution policies. What should be the policies of the institution? What should be the policies of the department? What should be the policies of the individual teacher to properly implement outcome-based education, to effectively implement outcome-based education? So when you effectively implement outcome-based education, automatically you will be ever ready. You are always ever ready to face any kind of accreditation. I think all of you are clear with the outcome of this session now. Anyway, we are speaking about successful implementation of outcome-based education. Let me speak the language of outcome-based education only. The outcome of this session is, at the end of this session, all of you should get a feeling that, yes, sir, we can be ready, sir. Whenever accreditation team comes, let them come. We are ready, sir. That kind of a feeling all of you should come. All of you should get. That is the outcome of this session. How to be ready. Okay, how to finish the job then and there. So all those things we will discuss. As a teacher, individually, how to do it. As a department, what are the responsibility? As an institute, what are the responsibility? What are the policies? So I will concentrate on that. I think straight away we'll go to PPTs. Presenting, I'll present some PPTs. Yes, are you able to see my screen?
Yes, sir.
What is there on my screen?
It's showing blank.
Yeah, good. Blank only. I'm showing blank only. So first slide is institutional characteristics. That is design of institutional policies for outcome-based education. Actually, it is CDIO. I am not teaching CDIO. I am teaching only OBE. Okay, OBE. Now, the first slide. See, here, department level. At the department level, let us discuss at the department level. At the department level, what are the who have to act? First, teacher. As a teacher, what are your duties? What are your responsibilities? What you should do to be ever ready? Next, as an HOD, if you are heading a department, how to be? What are your duties? When to do? How to do? What to do? That is HOD. And department coordinator. There will be a coordinator also. NBA coordinator you call, or accreditation coordinator, or some coordinator, whatever name. Some department coordinator will be there. What are his duties? So you should be very clear. I think we will stop here because there are so many things, but let us confine to only teacher, HOD and department coordinator at the department level. Next, institutional level, principal or director. Next, you have institutional coordinator. Yes, at the college level also you have a coordinator. He is called as institutional coordinator. Yes, these are the two. Apart from that, you have different committees at the department level. Yes, you have different committees at the department level and different committees at the institute level also. See, these are the things, different levels at the institute level and department level. Now, carefully understand, as a teacher, what to do, what are your responsibility, when to do, how much to do, what to do, that you should be clear. As an HOD to run a department, so what should be done? My teachers, what they have to do. So how the department should be ready, that is the responsibility of the HOD, and he is supported by the department coordinator. What are his duties, what he should do, that should be clear at the department level. Institute level, anyway, principal or director and institutional coordinator. All these let us see one by one. Now, let me go to the next slide. This is for teacher. First we shall come to teacher. Teacher is the most important. If teacher does this job perfectly, most of the jobs are done. Now, to frame quality course outcomes, very simple. The first and the basic job of a teacher is to frame quality course outcomes. So whatever courses you take, you should know how to frame quality course outcomes. Now, Now you can unmute your mic and you can answer. How confident are you in framing quality course outcomes? Simple question. How confident are you in framing quality course outcomes? Simple question. Not confident, confident, highly confident. 3 levels, let us keep. I think some of you can answer. How confident are you in framing quality course outcomes? Some of you can unmute and answer, or you can put it in the chat box. You can at least write in the chat box so that I see and I understand what is going on in your head. Based on measurable outcome. Correct. But my question is very, very simple. How confident are you in framing quality course outcomes? Meaning, can you frame quality course outcomes or not? That is my question. How confident are you in framing quality course outcomes? Because this is very important. Yes, I am confident or I am not confident. Sir, I have to improve. Something like that. You can put it in the chat box. No? First, confident. Okay. Gladys Madam is telling she is confident because she has attended so many workshops and she has got she arranges a lot of workshops and she attends those workshops also. That way, she gets a lot of knowledge.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, she is
Actually, we have received plenty of information from your side. When we are auditing for NBA, we invited many experts from BMS College. One of you.
Yeah, I know. Good, good.
Yes, sir. So you have many informations and a lot of instructions you have given already. And in the phase 2 also you have given a lot of informations related OB. It was a very nice session, sir.
Yes, I still remember.
Thank you.
When I visited your campus, I still remember, madam, that guest house was like a temple in your college. I still remember
sir,
that.
Yes, sir. Our college looking like very, very pretty, sir.
Yeah, that was the first time guest house is like a temple. You have to enter guest house without your shoes. You have to keep all your shoes and all outside.
Yes,
and you have to enter the guest house because guest house is maintained like a temple. Vellambal Institute of Technology. Very good, madam. That I liked, madam.
Thank you so much, sir.
Okay. Basaraj sir says, as per my college, CEO confident. Good. See, carefully understand. If you are not confident, then again, how to be confident? Sir, I am not that much confident in framing course outcomes, sir. Now you have to think how to become confident. How to become confident? You have to attend some lectures. You have to see the course outcomes. There are a lot of ways in which you can be confident of quality course outcomes. This is what is called as skill enhancement. Sir, I don't know something. I have to depend on somebody to know it, or I have to take training, or I have to go to somebody who knows. See, this is very, very important. I don't know, but I don't want to take training. No, I don't want to attend any sessions. No, that is impossible. See, carefully understand. Whenever you know there is some weak area, please strengthen that weak area. I tell you my own story. When I finished my graduation, I studied in government schools. So when I finished my graduation, I joined as a teacher. And I was some third class, first. I think all of you remember your first class in your teaching profession. From third class or fourth class, 2 students got up and told, sir, we are unable to understand your English. You are unable to understand your teaching also, sir. They said, your English is too bad, sir. And your concept, whatever you are teaching, that also we are not understanding, sir. 2 students got up and told straight. Then it was a big insult for me. I was still a bachelor, young. I was not third class or I think third class or fourth class of my teaching. So it was a big humiliation for me. That day night I went back home and I think teaching I cannot do. I should leave teaching. I should go to software industry or I will do some other job. I will not do teaching. I slept. Again, midnight I got up. It was pricking, you see, because it's a big humiliation. And also then I decided what students are telling, my English is not good. Let me improve my English. They are telling, sir, you are teaching, we are not able to understand. So let me practice teaching in such a manner that the students understand. I took it as a challenge. I thought of resigning the next day. Then I thought I will take it as a challenge. I tell you, my dear friends, I paid 600 rupees then 600 was a big amount then to learn English, to learn proper English, 600 rupees. And when you pay money and when you learn, you really learn. 600 was a big amount. I paid, I learned English. That was a big thing. I learned English like anything. Okay, totally. Even now I struggle, but quite convenient with English. So I learned English. After that, how to teach, I started practicing. I started seeing lectures of other seniors. See, whenever you decide you have to learn, there are hundreds of ways. Same thing here also. I am just giving this as an example. Same thing here also. To frame quality course outcomes, those participants who are not confident, please attend some workshops. Please attend to lectures. There are a lot of lectures. There are a lot of PPTs, a lot of workshops being conducted. Please attend. You should be confident of framing quality course outcomes. That is number one. That is another primary responsibility of teacher in an OBE system. Next. Okay. To do logical COPO mapping. So COPO mapping is another important thing. How to map COs to the appropriate program outcomes. How to map course outcomes to the program outcomes. How to map them. That again is another big task. Logically, how to map COs to POs. How to logically map COs to POs. That is another big thing. Course outcomes to PO. Sir, I am not confident of logically mapping CO to PO. You become confident. How to become confident? So you have to become confident by attending some workshops or by seeing some PPTs, by taking help of your seniors. So there are hundreds of ways of doing logically COPO mapping. Actually, in my sessions, I think I take a cricket example and Gladys madam, do you remember?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I take a cricket example and I do COPO. I don't take really
Yes,
technical
yes,
example at all.
Yes, yes, sir. Never forget.
Thank you, madam. Because when I was also teaching, you see, these teachers are basically learners. When I was doing COPO mapping initially in my workshops, I used to get the feedback from the participants. I am very curious about the participants. Participants used to come and tell, sir, your other sessions were good, sir. We understood, but COPO mapping somehow we did not understand, sir. Then I thought how to improvise, how to make them understand. And COPO mapping is a big thing. If I take a mechanical example, computer science, electronics and all, they will not understand. If I take a computer science, civil, mechanical and all will not understand. And if I have to take the examples of all the branches, Gladys madam will not give me so much of time. Sir, time is over, sir. You have to finish, sir, like that. I cannot take 5 hours, 6 hours and all. So how to do it? I thought. Then I initially thought I will take the example of films. With films, I will make a framework. But after a lot of struggle, 15 days, I was not able to make that framework. Therefore, next, what is popular after films? Politics. But politics, I am a non-political person. Politics somehow I cannot take. That was the thing. Next, what is next popular after film, politics? Cricket, sports. In sports, cricket. Everybody knows about cricket. So I took cricket example. Somehow it clicked. And last session, I think here only, Velamal Institute, when they arranged, I did that COPO mapping with that cricket example. See, that is why, as a teacher, when students tell something, sir, this you are not able to do, sir, then you have to improvise. See, ultimately, participants in the workshops or the students in the class, they will make you better teacher. I was always curious to the feedback of the students. See, I strongly believe I was always giving a very careful ear to my students. Whenever they tell, sir, this example, somehow you should give more examples. I was always asking the feedback very much from the students. If I am a little good teacher, it is because of the feedback that my students give. You also be very open with your students. They will give a lot of feedback. But the only thing is, whenever you are asking your students, be open for criticism. Because when they tell something, you should accept it. Yes, oh, that's okay, no problem, that's okay. Because that will improve. You will improve in your teaching like that. So to do logical COPO mapping is another responsibility. So framing quality COs, framing logical COPO mapping. Then after that, yes, to frame questions and map logically into the course outcomes. You see, this is another important task. See, you make questions, you prepare questions, you frame questions, and questions should be mapped to the course outcomes now. So how confident are you in framing the questions to the course outcomes? Are you confident of mapping the questions to the course outcomes? How confident are you in mapping the questions to the course outcomes? See, I'll give an example. In one workshop, one of the faculty said, "Sir, I am unable to map the questions to the course outcome, sir. I am not able to do it at all, sir." He asked straight away, he asked me, "What to do, sir?" Then I asked the question, "Sir, who framed the question, sir?" He told, "Sir, I only framed the questions." Okay, very good. "Who framed the course outcomes?" "Sir, I only framed the course outcomes," he said. Then next I asked, "Who should do questions to course outcome mapping?" "Sir, you do it, sir." So that was a very different answer, because he has framed the questions, he has framed the CO, but now he is finding it difficult to map the questions to the course outcomes. Sir's problem is, I could understand his problem. What he has done is, see, while framing the questions, he did not map to the course outcomes. He has framed all the questions, he has given test and all. At the end of the semester, he wanted to map the questions to the course outcomes. There he was struck. He was unable to do it. It was very difficult for him to do it. Therefore, carefully understand, whenever you write a question, internal question or whatever, whenever you write a question, immediately map it to the appropriate CO. Then you will not have any difficulty. Because if it is not matching properly, you can appropriately fine tune the question and see that it is mapped to the CO. Then you will not have any problem at all. Therefore, whenever you frame a question, please map it to the appropriate CO. Then you will not have any problem. So this is another responsibility, to frame questions and map logically to the course outcomes. Next, to compute the COs at the end of the semester. See, I am giving all the responsibilities, all these policies you should know as a teacher. See, a policy, I am not going to high level policy. I am going to the basic bottom-up approach. I am going by bottom-up approach. As a teacher, what should be your policy? Okay, to work peacefully, happily in the institution. Number 4, to compute the COs at the end of the semester, you should know how to compute the COs. Carefully understand, what is the policy of the department for framing the COs, that you should know. See, department will have a policy. You should know what is the policy, what is the methodology to compute the COs. Or if there is no policy in the department, all the teachers are given autonomy, that is fine, no problem. You can frame the COs according to whatever way you want. See, what method you adopt to compute the CO, there are 3 important things. Number 1, ultimately, there can be an institute level policy to compute the COs. That is number 1. Okay, meaning all the departments, all the faculty will compute the CO according to that central policy. That is number 1. Number 2, department level policy. Institute will not set the policy. Institute says at the department you can make your policy like that. So department level policy, department will decide the policy. According to that, all the faculty of the department will compute the COs. That is number 2. Number 3, no policy at all. Every faculty is given the autonomy. Every policy is given the autonomy. Every faculty is given the autonomy. That is number 3. Number 1, institute policy. Number 2, department policy. Number 3, faculty can decide his way of computing the COs. Which do you prefer? Okay, at least you tell now. Which policy do you prefer? Should it be dictated centrally by the institute, or should it be decided by the department, or should it be left to the faculty? Which do you feel is convenient for you? I think this you can answer now. Either it is faculty level or department level or institute level. Which is comfortable for you? Which do you think is right? Which do you think is right? You can put it in the chat box. Don't worry, there is no right, wrong answer. Left to faculty, good. Basuraj sir says left to faculty, good, nothing wrong. Feel free, there is no right, wrong answer and all. It is your perception. Very good. Always you express your perception. Don't worry. Okay, don't feel this thing. Department policy. Madam says it is, Indravati madam says department policy. Nothing wrong, nothing wrong, nothing wrong at all. So anybody else, what is your opinion on these 3 policies? Should it be institute policy, department policy, or left to the faculty? Few more chat boxes. I want some interaction also. No? Otherwise, I feel monotonous. Only I am talking, you are not doing anything. Put something in the chat box. Let us be a little interactive. Only 2 answers are there. At least 2 more answers for me to continue. Motivation. I require some motivation to continue now. At least 2 more answers in the chat box. One answer is left to faculty. Another answer is department policy. 2 more answers. I will continue. Good. Department level. Yes, department level. 1 more answer. I will continue. 4 answers. At least 4 interactions. No? Department level. One more, I am waiting for one more chat answer. Please. Feel free, my dear friends. Department level. Good. Now, carefully understand. What is the, do you have any problem if it is left to the faculty? Let me ask this question. Will you have any problem if it is left to the faculty? Yes or no? Simple question. If it is left to the faculty, will there be a possibility of problem? Yes or no? You can put it in the chat box. Or you can unmute and you can speak also, no problem. Basura sir says yes. Okay, my answer also says yes. Yes, they all are saying yes. They know what problem. Indravati madam also says yes. Good. They know. Yes. Uma madam also says yes. So all these people can understand the problem. See, basically we are all teachers. If it is left to the faculty, definitely there may be a possibility of problems. All these faculty feel there is a possibility of, oh, Rafiq sir also say yes. Meaning, majority of the faculty say, yes, there will be a problem. It cannot be left to the faculty. You see, this is how policies will come up. Okay. Vijayalakshmi madam also says yes. Oh, I think it's a universal answer. Yes, everybody is feeling good. At least you are getting that feeling. Yes, there will be a problem because if it is left to the faculty without any guidance, they can do whatever they want. So it may lead to some problem. Carefully understand. Definitely it may not lead to a problem, but there is a probability of getting into some problem. That's all, nothing. If everybody does fantastically, there is no problem, but there is a possibility. So now, should it be institute level? Yes. Computation should be done as per the policy set by the department or the institute. Very important. So how to do the computation? As per the policy, this is what is policy. What is the policy in your institution? How to compute the COs? Is it the policy of the department or is it the policy of the institute? So whichever is there, according to that policy, you compute the COs at the end of the semester. That's all simple. As a teacher, you compute the COs, you'll be happy, no problem. Good. Computation of COs is another thing. Next, you see, this is very, very important. This is another thing. To do a correlation between internal marks and external marks. What is the meaning of correlation? See, suppose 15 marks internal. Okay, I'll take an easy example for you to easy. 100 marks internal, 100 marks external. The easy of mathematics, that's all. Okay, 100 marks internal, 100 marks external. Now carefully understand. In a course, I am giving an example, you give your opinion on this. The faculty has given internal marks in the range of 95 to 100. All the students, there are 60 students in the class, all the students get internal marks in the range 95 to 100. Good, they have got very good internals. But in the externals, their range of marks is 10 to 80. Nobody crosses 80. Nobody will get more than 80. Nobody will get less than 20. The range of marks is 20 to 80. Carefully understand, in the internal marks, their range of marks is 95 to 100. In the external examination, final examination, which is conducted by the university might be, or the institute also, their range of marks is 20 to 80. What feeling you get? Is it okay or not okay? I think you can put it in the chat box or you can unmute and you can talk also, no problem. Is it okay or not okay? Internals range is 95 to 100. Externals range is 20 to 80. Is it okay or not okay? Not okay. I think we can put it in the chat box. Not okay. Go on typing in the chat box. Okay, be very active in the chat box. Okay, not okay. Now, how to find out? Shivchandra sir also says not okay. Very good. All of you are telling not okay. Rafiq bhai also is telling not okay. So everybody is telling not okay, means it's not okay only. So it is not okay. How to find out it is not okay? How to find out? How to find out whether internal marks range and external marks range are okay or they are not okay? How to find out that? Is it possible to analyze the internal marks and external marks of all the subjects and do it? Or is there any other way? Carefully understand. There is a correlation factor. You just type in the Google correlation factor, you will get one equation. You will get one mathematical equation. In that mathematical equation, you have to, we can analyze. Yes, we can analyze. We have to see the internal marks. We have to see the external marks. We have to analyze. That is a lot of time. There is a simple correlation formula. Google, you type correlation formula, you write correlation formula. You will get a formula. Using that formula, you just give the internal marks, you just give the external marks, it will give a number between 0 to 1. It will give a number between 0 to 1. What is the meaning of 1? 1 means perfect matching. Meaning all the students, whatever internal marks they have got, exactly that number only they have got in the external marks. That is 1. 1 is impossible. Na? Suppose if they have got 42 in the internals, externals also they will get 42. If they have got 65, external also 65. All the students, that probability is very less. Getting 1 is almost, and if you get 1 also, there is a problem. Because there is match fixing type of problem. Okay, you cannot get 1. But if you get less than 5, lot of deviations. Left out less than 5 means, I told the example, na, internal 95 to 100. Whereas external it is 20 to 80, those kind of things will go for less than 5. There is no matching at all. So it will give a number. If the number is above 0.5, it is somewhat okay, at least satisfactory. You can keep the threshold 0.5. If it is above 0.5, it is satisfactory. Below 0.5, you have to give an explanation. Might be you have given more marks in the internals and they have got less marks in the externals, or you have given less marks in the internal, they have got more marks in the external. There should be a correlation. You have to give an explanation. As a teacher, you have to give an explanation. In our institute, the policy is, if somebody gets the correlation factor 0.5 or less, so he has to analyze and he has to give an explanation. We can analyze. Yes, sir says, Mayank sir says, we can analyze. When we have to analyze, whenever you get 0.5, less than 0.5, we have to analyze. Otherwise, you do not have to analyze. That's okay. It is minimum satisfactory. That's how it is. So very important to do a correlation between the internal marks and the external marks. Yes, that also teacher should be able to do. Next, to do the result analysis. To do result analysis, all of you know, meaning how many students passed, how many students got first class, how many students second class, distinction, fail, what is the pass percentage, what is the percentage of first class, this thing, what is the average marks, totally average marks in your course, all this, you know how to do the result analysis, deep result analysis, you do. Yes, you do the result analysis also. See, one is, according to the marks, you do the result analysis. The other one is, you compute the COs also. Okay, next I will write down. To do a correlation between the result analysis and the course outcome. This is another very important thing. Carefully understand, you have to do a correlation between the result analysis and the course outcomes. Carefully understand. Do you think there should be some relation between the result analysis and the course outcome? Are they related or they are not related? Yes, sir. Can we classify internal marks as formative? Yes, no problem, no problem. So, do you think result analysis and course outcomes are related or not related at all? Is there some indirectly related? Yes, related. Sir is telling related. Oh, all of you are telling related. Good. They are related. Result analysis and course outcome values are related. They may not be straight related, but they are related. They are related. There should be a correlation between this also. Because if the result says 50% of the students have failed, carefully understand, I am giving a scenario. If 50% of the students have failed and course outcomes attainments are above 90%, then what does it mean? All the course outcomes in your course, their attainment levels are above 90%, but 50% of the students have failed. Is it okay or not okay? Carefully understand. Result analysis and course outcome, I am telling. Result analysis, 50% of the students have failed. Course outcome attainments, all the COs are attained more than 80%. Okay or not okay? Not okay. There is a problem. There is a problem. There is a problem. So there should be correlation between the result analysis and the course outcomes also. See, these interlinking, if you understand, you will understand a lot actually. Okay, you will understand a lot. Very good. Next, yes, to do continuous improvement analysis on the course outcomes. You see, this is very, very important. continuous improvement analysis of the course outcomes. Many times I see faculty will compute the course outcomes at the end of the semester and they will forget. Why? If you compute the COs and if you don't do beyond that, you are doing a grave mistake. You are doing something basically very much wrong. Why did you compute the COs? What is the basic purpose of computing the COs? No, sir. Filings, sir. Documentation, sir. Correct. But there should be some improvement now. Why did you do all this clerical work? Just to satisfy your HOD or just to satisfy your system? What is the benefit for you? Carefully understand. To attain the PO. Okay, to attain the PO, correct. That is also documentation. To attain the PO. Yes, sir, you are right, sir. To attain the PO. But why we should attain the PO? What benefit I get through formative assessment to assure meeting to COPO? Yes, that's fine. Documentation, policy, that's fine. But what is the benefit that I get? What is as a teacher, by computing the COs, what benefit I get? What is the improvement that I can do? Very important. He has to do continuous improvement analysis of the courses. Carefully understand. Carefully understand. It is like this. I'll give you a simple example. You compute the COs. Suppose 4 COs are there in your course. 2 COs are above 80, they are satisfactory. 1 CO is 62, another is 75. 75 also leave. 62. See the COs. See the CO whose attainment is 62. It is not satisfactory. You are not happy with that 62. Next, what is the problem? You see, to improve, first you have to find out what is the problem. That course outcome has got 62, meaning the questions which are mapped to that course outcome, students have got less marks. Carefully understand. If a course outcome attainment is 62%, it means the questions related to that course outcome, students have not understood properly, they have not got good marks. Rectify our error, yes. How to rectify our error? See, I have done a mistake, my course attainment is 62. How to know where is the problem? I am coming to that point, very good. So, see all the questions that are mapped to that particular CO, which is attained 62. See, take out all the questions. And all the answer booklet, how the students have answered for those questions, you find out. Why students have not got good marks, where they have gone wrong, analyze. That is, you have to analyze the answer script. Carefully understand. The first one is analysis of the answer script. That is number 1. Analysis of the answer script. That is number 1. Number 2 is, after doing the analysis of the answer script, number 2 is, carefully understand, you should talk to the students also. My dear students, this topic I taught, why you have got wrong answers, why you have got less marks in the test, what was the problem? You talk to the students and be very open for their answers. See, if you are very open, then the students will definitely give fantastic answers, fantastic improvements for you also. Be very open with them. Dear students, in these questions you got less marks. Why? What was the problem in my teaching? Why you did not understand, or why you were not able to answer? Like that, you ask questions. Students will give. I tell you, don't underestimate the power of the students. Students will have definitely fantastic answers, through which you can improve. So, how to improve yourself when COs are less? 2 things. Analyze the answer script. Second one is talk to the students. These are the only 2 which will help you to improve your course outcomes. So, if the course outcomes are 62, yes, you have to analyze. You have to first find out where is the problem. So, you say, after analyzing the answer script, after talking to the students, I found that less number of examples were given for this particular topic. Students were unable to confidently understand this topic. That was the problem. Less number of examples was here. That was the problem. How to overcome it? Give more number of examples. Give simple, moderate, and complicated level of examples and make the students more confident, more comfortable. That's all simple. That's all, nothing other than that. Now, is it clear, all of you? That's all. You identify the problem and also you give the improvement. Yes, in this particular topic, less number of examples. Or you can also say, after talking to the student will tell, sir, you covered in only 2 hours, sir. It was not enough, sir. We were not able to understand in 2 hours, sir. Might be you have to take more, sir. You did fast, sir. In 2 hours, you finished everything, sir. We were not able to understand, sir. Be a little slow, sir. Might be you take 4 hours and you in-depth, you make us understand, then we will be able to perform. Then you write down, after analyzing the answer saved, after talking to the students, I found that more time is required for this particular topic. It has to be done a little slow, hence more time is required. So, suggestions. Next teacher suggestion is for this topic, give more time. I gave only 2 hours, might be you have to give 4 hours, like that. See, that is what is continuous improvement. And also carefully understand, you also continue next time when you take the course, you know, oh, this particular topic, I should not take 2 hours, I should take 4 hours. Might be for this particular topic, I gave less examples, might be I should give more examples. Maybe focus on students' learning style. Yes, true, sir. Nothing wrong. Yes, that is also fantastic. So you find out where is the problem and you improve that. See, that way you become a better teacher. Carefully understand, don't do anything for the sake of just documentation. We are all selfish. When you are investing so much of time to do all those CO, PO computations and all, there should be some outcome for you also, no? The outcome is you should become a better teacher. And when you become a better teacher, your students also will become better. Department, institute, placement, all these things will become better. Therefore, after CO, you compute, and if you forget, you are doing only clerical work. Continuous improvement analysis is very, very important. On the course outcomes, this is very, very important. Okay, now I will go to course continuous improvement slide. There is another slide. I think I'll show that slide. That is quite important. Continuous improvement, on what parameters you can do continuous improvement. There is a beautiful slide I have prepared. I think I'll show that slide. Yes, continuous improvement. Okay, continuous improvement. Carefully understand. This is a beautiful slide. Yes. Teaching learning process. What is the continuous improvement that you have to do? Teaching learning process. What is the continuous improvement? These are the continuous improvements. What are the continuous improvements? Quality of COs. Yes, you can always improvise the quality of COs. CO-PO mapping. Yes, you can make it better. Analysis of the COs at the course level. Yes, you have to do analysis of the COs at the course level. This is also a continuous improvement. Action taken upon this analysis of COs. When you analyze the COs, you find some problem. You find some drawback or you find some problem. So you take some action. Actions taken upon this analysis of COs. Yes. Okay. Analysis of POs and PSOs at the program level. I think program level, I'll come to it a little later on. Same thing, action taken on the analysis of POs and PSOs. Anyway, POs and PSOs at department level, I'll come to it a little later on. Quality of question paper. Yes, you improve the quality of question paper. Very good. Assessment methods. Yes, bring some innovative assessment methods. Delivery methods. It is not only chalk and talk. There are so many different types of delivery methods. Yes. And quality of projects. Yes, this is very, very important. Continuous improvement, quality of projects. See, how do you improve the quality of projects? Okay, and how do you measure the outcomes of a project? I have written very clearly, outcomes of a project, either the project wins a prize in a competition, or there is a good publication out of this project, or a patent comes out of the project, or a product comes out of the project. If none of these are there in a project, I think just it becomes a formal final year project. There should be some outcome. No? And also carefully understand, you would have invested almost 1 year, 7th semester, 8th semester, I don't know. But normally the project starts from 7th and finishes at 8th. Normally it will be 1 year project. But 1 year you have invested your time as a guide, you have invested 1 year of your time to that particular project. So there should be some outcome for you also. No? Along with the students, if you come out with a fantastic publication, yes, for the students also it is benefit. For you also, when your higher ups ask you at the interview, at the increment interview and all, last 1 year, what did you do? You can show, sir, I have guided this project, sir. These are the outcomes of the project. This is a good publication I have got. So through students also you can get publication. Especially MTech students are there, you can get very good quality publications. Even BE students also, you guide them properly, they will get you good publications. Be a little selfish. Whenever you invest time, there should be some outcome. So improve quality of projects, there should be an improvement, and outcomes of the project also, there should be some improvement. These are some of the continuous improvements with respect to teaching learning process. Next, this is PO. I think POs, I'll come to it a little later on. I think this all of you read. Please read all of you. Are you able to see the complete slide? Madam, is the complete slide visible?
Yes, sir. We can.
Yes,
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes. All of you,
Up to
please
sample
read.
3.
Sir.
Up to sample 3,
Sample 1, sample 2, and
it is
sample
okay.
3 are visible, sir.
That's all. Only sample 3 are there. Only 3 samples are.
Okay, sir.
I will give you 2 minutes. Please read these 3 samples. Fantastic examples I have taken. Please read these 3 samples for continuous improvement. Yes, I think all of you read did you get a good feeling about this? This is a fantastic example. You see, sample 1, you can see this is how continuous improvement has to be done. Just see sample 1. Course outcomes for a laboratory course did not measure up as some of the lab equipment did not have the capacity to do the needful. Meaning, single trace oscilloscopes available, whereas dual trace would have been better, or non-availability of some important software. Meaning, course outcomes are not attained properly because of the lab equipment problem. So what is the action taken? Equipment upgradation was carried out with details of upgradation. Yes. So you have to upgrade the equipment so that the course outcomes are proper. That is with respect to laboratory. Sample 2, that is very, very important. Sample 2 for a theory class. In a course on EM theory, engineering mechanics theory, student performance has been consistently low with respect to some COs. Analysis of answer scripts, very important. Analysis of answer scripts and discussion with the students revealed that this could be attributed to the weaker course on vector calculus. See, EM theory, they don't have any problem, but they are not very strong in vector calculus. Therefore, the COs are attained less. Student tells, sir, EM we don't have any problem, sir, but vector calculus basics we have some problems, sir. Therefore, we have these COs and all these questions and all we were not able to answer properly. Therefore, the COs are attained less. What is the action taken? Revision of the course syllabus was carried out, meaning putting appropriate vector calculus portion also into the curriculum so that vector calculus is taught, and afterwards this engineering mechanics, whatever part is required in vector calculus, that is taught first, afterwards EM theory is taught, something like that. So our textbook is changed. So something like that, you have to take some actions. You know the problem. When you know the problem, taking action becomes quite easy. See, in medical field, they say diagnosis is very important. Diagnosis is very important. If diagnosis is not proper, then it becomes very difficult. Oh, very good. I am getting a lot of inputs. Excellent, superb, sir. Good, sir. I am very happy with these comments. So it means you are understanding. Okay. So now, sir, carefully understand. Number 3 is related to the projects. I think anyway, I'll not go into that. That is rubrics. Okay. Number 3 is in a course that had group projects, it was determined that expectation from this course about PO3, like to meet specifications with consideration of, we are not realized as there was no discussions about this aspect with planning and execution of the project. So those have to be appropriately taken care of in the rubrics. Action taken, project planning, monitoring and evaluation, including rubrics related to these subjects. Meaning, I think very good, sir. I think some of you are giving good comments. Maybe you are understanding. I am happy that you are understanding. Sir, if you don't take any action on the COs, I tell you, sir, you are just doing clerical work, sir. I am just giving 3 samples here, and also be honest in writing, sir. See, I have seen many faculty who are a little hesitant to write down. Hesitant in the sense, see, how can you write your own mistakes? That is the problem, sir. I have done only 2 examples, sir. I know, sir. But how can I write that I have done only 2 examples, sir? Somebody finds out. Be truthful, na? We are not 100% perfect in life. I have taken only 2 examples. Therefore, students found this difficult. Nothing wrong in writing. Many teachers are afraid. If I write this, then people will think I have not taught properly. That's okay, no problem. See, you are a teacher, but I think you are understanding what I am telling now. But be frank, so that next teacher will understand. Oh, this particular topic, last teacher, he took only 2 examples. Now I think I have to give more examples. Then only students will understand like that. Otherwise, continuous improvement, no, it becomes it just becomes a formality. Now, carefully understand, again, continuous improvement, I'll give one more example, sir. This as a teachers, you will enjoy this example, and this is a true example also, sir, which happened in my department. Whatever I am telling, this is by experience, sir. Sir, whatever I am telling, you can never get in any textbook or anything. These are by my experience. See, might be in 6 years, 7 years back, I was heading computer science department. Carefully understand this example. You should answer this. As teachers, you should answer this. It's a fantastic example. Okay, not very complicated, very simple example. You should answer. You will enjoy this example also. And also, I was asked to head computer science department in 2014. And when I went to the department, I talked before that I was heading information science for 10 years, and afterwards I was asked to head computer science. In 2014, I started heading computer science. When I went to computer science, I immediately talked to all the faculty that we have to improve the level of question paper, we have to improve the level, everything I told. Everybody said, yes, sir, what you are telling is correct, sir, improve the level, everything. 2 hours, we had a fantastic discussion, everybody, yes, sir, you are correct, we will all do, sir, they are very enthusiastic. At the end of the semester, one faculty came to my room, to my chamber, with a complaining face. You see, our Indian faces are very expressive. If you see somebody's face, you can understand whether he is happy, whether he is not happy, whether he is sad. Our Indian faces are very expressive. By seeing the face only, I could understand faculty is not happy. With a complaining face, she came. She sat before me and told, sir, I wanted to talk to you. Yes, madam, please talk. She said, sir, last year, I took the same course, sir. My CO attainments were above 90, sir. All the CO attainments were above 90. She had around 5 COs. Sir, in this course, there are 5 COs. All the 5 CO attainments were above 90%, sir. Last year also, I took the same course. Sir, after you came, you told to increase the level of questions, all that and all. I followed your instructions, sir. After following your instructions, this semester, my COs have dropped between 65 to 75, sir. Last year, before you came to our department, my CO attainments were above 90%, sir. Now, they are between 65 to 75, sir. And she put a full stop. Next, I should only understand. You are responsible for that, sir. You have spoiled my COs, sir. Last year, before you came, my COs were between 90 to 100, sir. After you came, I listened to your words, sir. You gave a fantastic lecture. After listening to your lecture, my COs have dropped between 65 to 75, sir. This is what she told. And I was the HOD. How to react? I leave it to you now. If you were HOD, what you would have reacted? See, many of you, you will be go to administrative positions sooner or later in your career. You should know how to be logical also. It is not bossism and all. How to be logical? You should analyze logical analysis. Okay, how you would have reacted if you were the HOD, if you were in my shoes, how you would have reacted? I want some answers in the chat box. Nothing right, wrong, don't worry at all. See, everything is right. It's not your thought. That's all. Your way of thinking. And most of you are answering fantastic answers you are giving. I'm enjoying your interaction also. How you would have reacted? Please put it in the chat box. I will also enjoy your chats. Because I will know what is going on in your mind. And might be sometimes there is a learning also for me. I am open for learning. Nothing wrong. Because and especially young minds, they think very differently. Young minds, they think very differently. You have to upgrade with latest version. Yes, madam, you have to. And okay, good, Uma, madam. Yes, madam, good, madam. I understand. Good answer, madam. Good answer. Anybody else? How would you have reacted to that? And also that faculty is very sincere faculty, highly respected in the department, very popular in the department, very sincere faculty. No questions, no doubt. She is one of the assets of the department, topmost, highly respected faculty in the department. That also I am telling you straight. How you would have reacted? We can encourage her to take questions like that. Oh, good. Rafiq Bhai is telling we can encourage her to take questions like that. Okay, good. Good. Rafiq Bhai's thought like that. You can put your thought process. No, whatever you feel, put it in the chat box. No problem. We can make the students learn more. Okay. Anybody else? 2 more answers, at least 4 answers. I am happy. My threshold is 4. My target level is at least 4 answers. Check the target level of the CO and students' capability. Okay. Okay. Students' capability. This is again a curious. 4th one came. My threshold is okay. You may ask her to relate project results with the COs in different way. Good, sir. All your answers are fantastic. But one answer is a little curious. Okay, analyze the reason from both side, teacher and student. Yes, sir. Sir's answer is very, very fantastic. Analyze the reason from both ends. Okay, teacher also analyze, student also analyze. Good answer, sir. Sir, carefully understand students' capability. Carefully understand, sir. Okay, that is another curious answer. Okay. Now, let me come back to all these. All these answers are fantastic, no problem. Now, carefully understand. I asked her a simple question. Carefully understand. Carefully understand what happened afterwards. I asked her a simple question. Madam, did you follow the same TLP that you did in the last year? She said, sir, exactly the same TLP I followed this time also, sir. She said, my immediate response was, that is where you have gone wrong. I'll repeat again. I asked her a question, Madam, did you follow the same TLP that you followed last year? She answered, sir, yes, sir, exactly the same TLP I followed. Whatever I followed last year, this year also I followed. Immediately I said, that is where you have gone wrong. See, what Madam has done is, her TLP is exactly like last year's only, but questions are of higher level. Are you understanding the problem here? TLP is same. Whatever TLP she followed last year, the same teaching learning process she has done this year also. But questions are of higher difficulty. It is a surprise for the students. Students are unable to answer. They have got less marks. When they have got less marks in the questions, the appropriate map COs also will be attained less. Then she understood. Oh, it was a fantastic discussion. She told, sir, now I understood, sir. Sir, I have improved the level of, I have just increased the level of assessment, sir, but I have not parallelly increased the level of TLP, sir. I have not matched the TLP level, sir. Sir, now I understood the problem, sir. Then also I told, Madam, in the meeting 2 hours discussion, what did I tell? I told to increase the level of assessment and appropriately fine-tune your teaching learning process to match that level of assessment. You followed 50% of what I told, that is where you have gone wrong. And Madam told, sir, yes, sir, I understand, sir. I increased only question quality level, question difficulty level, but TLP I did not find it, sir. Next time I will take the same course, sir, and I will get the course outcome, sir. Oh, she was a challenging faculty. And next year I had forgotten this. One day she came to my chamber and she told, sir, thank you, sir. Why, Madam, what happened? Then she told, no, sir, last year my CO attainments were between 65 to 75, sir. Sir, this time it is 75 to 85, sir. I could not achieve above 90. Last year it was above 90. I could not achieve that, but still I am very happy, sir, 75 to 85 this time. And more than anything, I am feeling that I have become a better teacher, sir. Now I know the technique of how to raise the difficulty of the questions and appropriately how to fine-tune the teaching learning process. That technique I have understood, sir. I am a better teacher now, sir. Next time, definitely I will get the CO attainments above 80, above 85. No problem at all, sir. So I am a better teacher, sir. Carefully understand. Carefully understand. She felt she became a better teacher because she did continuous improvement. Otherwise, she would have just computed 60 to Next time it will improve. That's all. Nothing would have happened. She analyzed why 65 to 75. Then she went back from. Are you understanding what I'm telling? This is what should happen in continuous improvement. This is what should happen in the continuous improvement. Now, any discussion, sir? You can unmute your mic and you can speak, or you can put it in the chat box. Any comments? Anything that you want to say on this story, sir? This is a real story that happened. Please, sir.
Sir,
Yes, sir.
Sir.
Yes, sir.
regarding target level setting, is it with respect to the subject or common target level same for all the subjects, sir?
I'll come to that, sir. Very good, sir. Fantastic question, sir. I'll come to that, sir. I'll come to that, sir. After this discussion, next discussion is your question only, sir. Yes. Any other discussions on this story about whatever happened in the department? Okay. I think there are no discussions. Now, I will answer sir's question. Oh, that is a very curious question. How to set the target level? Now, carefully understand, if setting the target level is left to the faculty, is it okay or not? First, you answer in the chat box. If you leave the faculty, if you give that freedom of setting the target level to the faculty, is it okay or not? First, you answer. Is it okay or not? What is your feeling? No. Oh, very good. No. Most of you are answering no. Anybody yes? I am waiting for some answer. Yes, no. Everybody is answering no only. Everybody is answering no. Oh, thank you, madam. Thank you, madam. No, I am not great, madam. I am also a simple teacher like them. But only thing is, I am sharing my experiences, madam. I never think I am great, madam. Many times I learn from these interactions also, madam. Okay, we are all teachers. Anyway, we have different experiences.
As per my point of view, you are great, sir.
Oh, thank you very much, madam. Thank you, madam. That is, madam. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Now, sir, carefully understand. If target setting is left to the faculty, what will happen? I will explain. What will happen? I will explain. So, target level setting is left to the faculty. Faculty will come to the HOD and ask. Okay. Okay. No, at least the higher authorities have to tell minimum CO attainment in that course. Okay. Faculty will come and ask HOD, sir, how much CO attainment do you want, sir? How much you will be happy, sir? HOD will tell a minimum 60. Okay, then faculty and all will have some target level and they will go and they will give to HOD 60, 65, 70 and all. HOD next day he changes his mood. HOD is a moody HOD, let us assume. Previous day he said 60. Next day, what is the 60 and all? I want all the CO attainments to be above 80. What is the 60 and all? Sir, don't worry, sir. Please give me 10 minutes, sir. I will get 80, sir. All the faculty will come back to their rooms. They will change the target level. They will decrease the target level. When they decrease the target level, their CO attainment increases. They will go and show to the HOD. Sir, now it is 80 to 90, sir. Do you want further, do you want to make it above 90, sir? HOD will tell, yes, sir, I want everybody is above 90. Then again, staff members will come back to the staff room. They will make target as 10%. When they make target as 10%, definitely CO attainment will become above 90%. How to get target of 100? How to get CO attainment 100? Make the target level 0. When the target level is 0, CO attainment is 100. Therefore, don't give the freedom of target setting for the faculty. This happened this is initially, all this happened. Okay, I have seen. Therefore, targets should be set by the department or the institute. Now, another important question, sir. Sir has 2 or 3 important points he asked in one question. Sir, it is a beautiful question, sir. He asked 2 or 3 very important thing. One is target levels, who should decide, faculty or department, he asked. Then what else he asked? Another important thing he had, I forgot. Sir, can you repeat the question, sir?
Sir, regarding target level and the students' capability, sir.
Ah,
And
good, sir.
if your question paper quality if it decrease, automatically of students will pass, the course outcome will be increased. That all other related, sir.
Good, sir. Good, sir. I forgot the second one of your question, sir. Sir, it's a beautiful question. One is target level. We discussed about target level. Then quality of the students. Sir, carefully understand, sir. I will tell a golden sentence, sir. This is a golden color sentence. Golden sentence. Golden sentence should not be repeated again and again. Therefore, one time I will tell, neatly understand, sir. Golden sentence. The golden sentence is the CO attainment does not depend on the quality of the students or the complexity of the course. CO attainment do not depend on the quality of the students and the complexity of the course. It is irrespective of that. You can't give a reason, sir. This time COs are less because students are of less quality. You cannot give a reason like that. When you know that students are of less quality, you have to increase your teaching level. You have to somehow see that the COs are attained. You have to put more effort and see that the COs are attained. That is the logic, sir. Then, when you know that a particular course is complex, might be you have to put extra effort and see that the COs are attained. That is not a reason at all, sir. We cannot take that, sir. We cannot take that at all, sir. Sir, I tell you, practically, yes, there are some challenges, I tell you. But ideally, what I am telling is correct, sir. CO attainments do not depend on the quality of the students and the complexity of the course. When you know that the quality of students are less, you have to put more effort and see that the CO target level is met. When you know that the course is complex, you have to put more effort and you have to get the target levels. That's how it is, sir. Sir, did you understand, sir?
Sir,
Yes, sir.
actually I'm handling that electromagnetic theory subject. That is the reason I'm asking.
I know, sir. I know, sir. You are handling a complicated course, sir. I know, sir. Sir, actually, this is the problem with all the teachers who are handling complicated courses. But I tell you, sir, when you handle complicated courses, you will become better teachers, sir. Therefore, if you want to become better teachers, please handle complicated courses, tough courses. You will definitely become best teachers. And also how to handle tough courses, make them as simple as possible. See, very easy. Becoming teacher is very easy. When the course is complex, you tell the course, you teach as simply as possible. Make it very, very simple. Very, very simple spoon feeding type you make. Students will understand and they will pass and you will become a good teacher. That's how it is, sir. So when you are handling a complicated course, put extra effort and that extra effort will not go anywhere. It will come back because you will become a better teacher. You will definitely become a better teacher. Sir, I tell you one thing, might be after 1 year of experience, I was still a bachelor. I was given data structure. At that time, data structure was considered to be a tough course. Data structure, tough course. I was given data structures. I decided one thing, sir. And also somebody provoked me. And without practice, that is without taking any books, you should teach data structure. That should be proficiency. Somebody told. Therefore, whenever somebody comments or somebody provokes, take it very positively. Then I decided, okay, data structures I should teach throughout the semester without taking any books or notes. Just walk in with gesture and chalk piece and you should teach data structures. Carefully understand, throughout the semester, might be after 1.5 years of teaching experience, I put so much of effort the previous day. I was teaching, I was reading data structure with many books. The concepts were very clear. I was going to the class, just teaching with only chalk piece and duster. And students would feel, oh, so much proficiency he has. Students were getting that feeling. But how much effort I was putting the previous night, the previous day, previous 2 days, that students would not understand. But I put a lot of effort. But one time you put that effort, and the remaining semesters, you can just walk in and teach. Even today, data structures, I just walk in with a chalk piece and duster, because whatever effort I put, might be 28, 29 years back, it is I am reaping the benefits of that even today also. That's how it is. See, make it as simple as possible. And also, when you are not teaching from the textbook, when you are teaching naturally, it becomes very simple. Automatically, you become very simple. So, so quality of the students, no, sir. We cannot consider the quality of students and complexity of the course. And also normally, sir, HOD will allocate all the difficult subjects to good teachers only, sir. That is another problem for good teachers. Oh, he is good, he will handle. Okay, you handle this course. You are the best person. So good teachers will always get either the complicated course or a set of students who are a little weak, because HOD knows he will guide them. He will see that the course outcome. Take it as a challenge and you become better teacher, sir. That's how it is, sir. Good, sir. Sir, you brought 2 points. I think I have discussed both the points, sir.
So,
Sir, any other thing, sir?
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Any other discussion, sir? Please tell, sir. Any other discussion? We will have a discussion. No problem. Good, sir. I am happy with the interaction, sir. Good, sir. Interaction should be like this only, sir. After all, we are all teachers, sir. Ah, yes, yes. Initial years in teaching field is awesome, sir. Oh, Rafiq sir also, Purani yaad aa raha hai Rafiq sahab ko. Meaning, he is remembering his old days of teaching. Okay, initial days of teaching. Yes, sir. It's always memorable, sir. We also learning like that. I think I'll go to the next slide, sir. This slide is okay. I'll go to the next slide. See here, action based on the results of evaluation of each COs. See, carefully understand. Each CO you take, what is the target level, what you attained, what are the observations? This observation you have tried sincerely. So my target level was 60, I attained 70, that's okay. Target level was 75, attainment level was 60. Why it is 60? Like that you have to write down. So action based on the results of evaluation of COs. Fine, no problem. Then CO attainment analysis, you can compare also. CO1, 16, 17, how it was. 15, 16, how it was, 14, 15, how it was. You can have a comparison also. You can make a comparison analysis and you can write down actions, analysis and action. You can write down like that also, no problem. And PO attainment also same thing. Anyway, I'll come to PO attainment later. PO attainment is done at the department level, yes. Next, for the faculty, this again is important for you. Okay. Vijay Lakshmi Madam says, sir, students won't understand the questions. If any, the indirect information should be given in the question paper. Due to this also, if they know about, they don't write. Yes, that is also there, but we have to train. We have to train so that they write. That's how it is. We can also indirectly train. That's where we become good teachers. Yes, madam, that challenge is there, but we can overcome that challenge also. So now, continuous improvement for the faculty. Qualification, yes, you can improve the qualification. Student feedback, yes, this is very, very important. Student feedback, you should improve the student feedback also. Faculty performance appraisal, yes. Academic research publication, you should improve. PhD guidance. Sponsored research, yes. Funded projects and all, you should improve. Quality of curriculum projects guided, yes. Quality of the curriculum, outcome. Quality of non-curriculum guided, projects guided. Non-curriculum means, hobby projects. Non-curriculum means it is hobby projects. Guided, that also, yes, I think I should minimize it. Yes, that also is important. Then workshops, training programs, conferences attended with an impact analysis, very, very important, with an impact analysis. Then workshops, training programs, conferences attended with an outcome analysis, Sir, if CO is not attended in a particular batch, can we keep the same without increasing for the next year? Can we keep the same without increasing for the next year? No, madam, it has to be increased. No, you try to increase. Suppose last year it was 62, next year you try to improve. At least 67, 68, 70, like that you try to improve. Don't keep it at the same level. No, this CO is always low, let it be low, not like that. You should try to improve. That's how it is. Then, number of patents filed and granted, yes, and consultancy activities, effective industry collaboration and innovations in teaching learning process. What is the innovation that you have done in the teaching learning process? Books, lab manuals, MOOCs courses to offer and take, updating knowledge and skill sets, support to the weaker students. All these are continuous improvements for the faculty. Very good. Next, curriculum. Anyway, curriculum, I think this is again a continuous improvement. This should be a policy. Continuous improvement should be a policy. Strengthen the courses and the corresponding TLP which target the POs which are attained weekly. So whatever POs are attained weekly, you have to strengthen the courses and the corresponding TLP to make those POs strong. Introducing courses and skills as per the latest trends in the industry. Very good. Whenever TLP and assessment for a course is upgraded, appropriately the course syllabus has to be refined. Yes. And last, very important, curriculum to be oriented towards more of hands-on practicals, project-based learning, skill set based and problem-based learning. That's all. They should be more practical oriented. That's how it is. That's all with respect to the curriculum. The infrastructure, new laboratory setup as per the curriculum upgradation. When you upgrade the curriculum, yes, you may require new labs and all. Strengthening of the existing laboratory as per the curriculum upgradation, yes. Classroom upgradation as per the requirements of the delivery methods, yes. Establishment of Propel labs, yes. Establishment of industry incubation center, establishment of center. All these very good, no problem. Infrastructure, yes. This is very, very important. Academic audit, process of academic audit. This is very, very important. Okay, academic audit should happen at the department level also. It should happen at the institute level also. There should be a policy for the process of academic audit. Analysis done, action suggested, implementation of these actions, frequency of audit. How many times audit should happen in the department? And audit, is it internal audit or external audit? And how do you document the audit? How to document the audit? Impact of audit in the continuous improvement. Audit, did it impact it? Did it have an impact on the continuous improvement? Yes. Time and effort for the audit. Auditor came within half an hour, we went up. Is it like that? Or did he spend one day and completely he did the audit? So time and effort for the audit. Use of digital software support for the audit, or either manual also, okay, no problem. Process of academic audit as a complete system. This is very, very important. Auditing is a fantastic policy in any institution. Departmental audit and institutional audit. And departmental audit, it could be either internal audit or it could be external audit. And both, see what happens is internal audit, you have a meaning sometimes you are all working together in the department, you only pointing out mistakes of the other or some not doing of non-compliance of things of other colleagues. I don't know. If it is very sportive, then fantastically it happens, no problem. Other faculty also, yes sir, I have not done, sir, I will do. If that is the kind of environment, that happens fantastically well. Otherwise, it may disturb the harmony also a little. External audit, fantastic. External person will not have any obligations. He will come, whatever is done, he will write done. Whatever is done well, he will write done well. So he has no obligations. He will write fantastically all the statements he will write and he will give. Therefore, external audit will have more weightage than the internal audit. So this is the process of academic audit. Then last one, this is again very, very important, continuous improvement. Number and percentage of placements. What is the number and percentage of placement? This is very, very important. This should continuously improve. Number of placements should improve. Similarly, higher average package. A package also should improve. Overall in core companies, higher studies, yes, that also should improve. Entrepreneurs, results, there should be an improvement. This is last one is very important. Last two are very important. Quality of admission. See, ultimately, whatever you do, these two are very, very important. Quality of admissions, improvement in ranking, score in the entrance examination, opening ranking, closing ranking. Are they improving or not improving? And last one, demand for the course from the stakeholders' perspective. For one seat vacant, how many applications are there? How much is the demand? Like that. That is the last parameter. So that's all the continuous improvement slide. I wanted to show this slide. Very, very important continuous improvement. Okay, now I will go to again my base PPTs. Yes, I think I was there here, teacher. So this, I think I'll not erase them because if I have to erase, I have to do. I think it's okay now if it is there. It will take a lot of time. I think it's okay, no problem. Let them be there. Some lines, no, let them enjoy. No problem. Okay, I was there in teacher now. Ah, teacher. I was there with teacher. So teacher, yes, we were there here only. Continuous improvement. To do continuous improvement analysis of the course outcomes. After this, to prepare the course file for the course handled. How to prepare the course file for the course handled? What should be there in the course file? That is important. I think I'll just show what should be there in the course file. For that, I have another PPT. I will show that. What should be there in the course file? Very, very important. I'll show this. So please see this PPT. Quite interesting. What should be there in the course file? That's all simple. I think all these are simple course file. This theory and all I'll skip. I'll directly go to the course file. All this. What is course file? All of you know. I do not have to explain course file. Benefits of course file and all, you know, all of you. These are all theory. You are all, oh, okay. Straight away we'll come to this. See, what should be there in the course file? Sir, this file is quite important. All of you, please concentrate on this file. What should be there in the course file at the end? See, at the end of the semester, you prepare a course file. What should be there in the course file? See, first point, whatever I have written green, all those items which are written in green can be put into the course file before the beginning of the course. Carefully understand. What is the meaning of green? Whatever I have written in green, all of them can be put into the course file before the beginning of the course. Academic calendar, institute, department. Yes, both of them can be put into the course file. Syllabus, yes, you have the syllabus, you can put it in the course file. Lesson plan, yes, you can put it in the course file. Timetable, yes, before the start of the course only you can put the timetable. Course outcomes, yes, you are ready with the course outcomes. COPO mapping, yes, you are ready with the COPO mapping. List of experiments, if it is an integrated course, meaning theory and practical, if they are there in the same course, if it is an integrated course, list of experiments. Student list for theory and student list for the lab. All these green items, you can put it in the course file before the beginning of the semester only. Now, is it okay? Is it possible that all the green items you can put it in the course file before the beginning of the course?
Yes, sir.
Yes, all of them you can put it in the course file before the beginning only. So during black color means during the semester what you have to put. During the semester what you have to put? Internal question papers with scheme. Yes, internal question papers with scheme. Carefully understand, internal question papers with scheme. You should prepare scheme also. Internal question paper with scheme and quiz sheets with scheme, meaning answers for those quiz questions. Homework assignment, sample sheets if given, tutorial sheets if given. All these during the semester, all these happens. All these can be put into the course file also. Okay, all these you are putting into the course file. Yes. Now, I'll go to the next slide. Yes. Next, you just see this. Hey, sorry. This file. Yes, this file. All of you see this file. External question papers. Yes, at the end of the semester, you have external question papers now. That also you can put it to the course file. That also you can put it to the course file. Question bank, if any, yes, that also you can put it to the course file. Course materials, whatever you are prepared, if you want, you can put, or you can keep a soft copy also, no problem. All these can be put into the course file. Very good. Now, red color, whatever is there, all these red color items, you have to put it into the course file at the end of the semester. Green color before the semester, black color during the semester, and red color after the semester. So what you can put? Best and average answer scripts. Yes, answer scripts you take Xerox, best and average you put. Best and average lab records you can put. Lab test papers you can put. SCE analysis. SCE means it is our semester and exam analysis. Then COPO assessment data. Yes, how did you compute COs and all, Excel sheet and all. And attendance diary, attendance details, teachers diary. There is attendance register. Yes, you can put course and survey report. Yes, you can put the course and survey report also at the end. Then CAE sheets, continuous internal evaluation. That is internal marks and all. That also you keep. COE copy means you are sending to control of examination. No, if you are an autonomous, you are sending to control of examination. That copy. Last two are very, very important. Carefully understand the last two. These are very, very important. 25 and 26 are very important in the course file. Course instructor report with comments on continuous improvement. Very, very important. Course instructor report with comments on continuous improvement. Yes. So he should make comments on continuous improvement. My COs were low, how to make it. Like that comments he should write. And those comments should be useful for the next teacher who handles this particular course. Similarly, self-report on best practices followed. So delivery methods, assessment methods, alternative assessment method tools, all these best practices also he should write in the course file. Thank you. Okay, somebody is fantastic information about course file. So all these information are there in the course file. Good. If you want, you can include. If you want, you can delete some of them also. These are some of the generic items that I have written. But in your department, you can delete some of them, you can add some of them, no problem. But be very clear what should be done before the examination, before the semester, what should be done during the semester, what should be done after the semester, that you be very clear. That's all. Course file is clear. I think that's all. That's all about the course file. This and all is okay. No problem. This is COPO competition. This maybe you would have understood. Now we'll go to my basic PPT. Good. So we are traveling through and forth. Yes, teacher. I think teacher is over. To prepare the course file, teacher is over. Next, I will come to department. See, now I am coming to department. Now, carefully understand in the department to decide upon the policy of CO attainment method. In the department, suppose if institute says in the department you can decide how to compute the CO. So in the department you should decide the policy for CO attainment. This is again very important. So you should decide how to compute the CO. Very important. To implement a neat rubrics-based assessment for projects. This is another important policy in the department. How to assess the 8th semester projects? You should have a fantastic rubrics, na? Rubric should be there. Otherwise, how would you assess the projects fairly? How do you bring quality? All that will happen. Therefore, to implement a neat rubrics-based assessment for projects, yes, very important. Next, to conduct department level audit periodically in a year. See, this again, these are policies the department should take. How many times I should do audit? Should I do semester once or should I do semester twice? And also, if it is too much, again, that will create a problem. If it is too less, that also will create a problem. Then how much is perfect? That again, you should decide. You should decide. Normally, audit once in a semester is fantastic. Periodically in a year, at the end of every semester, it is fantastic. And either you can do internal audit and external audit together, or you can do only external audit. See, what happens is audit. I'll tell you one thing. I'll tell you one thing. One instance I will tell you. Internal audit, external audit. In one department, I will not tell the college name and all. In one department, internal audit said everything good. Everything is in place. Everything is in place. Everything is proper. Everything is good. Like that, they gave a report. Beautiful report. They gave internal audit. Gave. External audit was done. External audit had lot of questions. The quality of this is not good. This is not done. That is not done. So lot of discrepancies were there in the external audit. What is your comment? Then in the college, the internal audit were asked. See, external auditors, they came, they found out so much. Why you could not find all these in the department? You also did internal audit now. When external audits can find out all that, why you did not find all these in the internal audit? You have not done your duty properly while doing the internal audit. That was the question. And the answer from them was, sir, anyway, it's our own colleagues, no, sir. Therefore, we did not go in depth, sir, like that. That's why always external audit is more powerful than the internal audit. That's how it is, no problem. So to conduct the department. Next, define the process of academic audit duties and items to be audited. See, academic audit don't make very generic. Go and audit the department. No, that will not give any effect at all. Sir, carefully understand. You should very clearly tell what should be audited, what items should be audited, and next slide, next point you can see to define the format of the audit report also. He should know what are his duties. Auditors should know what are the duties, what they should see, and what they should write. Everything should be there. Meaning, this process of academic audit duties and items to be audited and format of the academic audit, all these should be in such a manner that auditor is forced to do a quality audit. He cannot just do a casual audit. He is forced to do a quality audit. Like that, audit should be there. See, this requires some time. A lot of discussion should happen. So how to create format for academic audit report? If you give somebody free, he will write one thing. Everything is good in the department. One line he will write, he will give and he will go. Is that okay? No, that is not okay. Then what he should write, what he should see, what he should write, all that should be very, very clearly given in the format. So he is forced to do that work. He is forced to do that work like that. So you should have a fantastic system for academic audit. Next, to do the computation of POs, you see, department responsibility is to compute the POs. Individual faculty, they will do the CO computation, whereas departments, they should compute the POs. So program outcomes at the end of the year. See, COs are computed at the end of the semester. Teacher will finish the course. he will actually do the computation of the COs. That's fine, teacher will do. When the POs are computed at the end of the year. When a particular batch gets over, POs are computed. Yes. So there is a small committee who will do the computation of POs and who should do the continuous improvement on POs also. Analysis on POs. Analysis on the PO values for the academic year. Whether the PO values are satisfactory, whether they have met the target. If they have not met the target, why they have not met the target, how to strengthen, what is the action to be taken to strengthen those POs, all these should come. Now, you see, in the department, all these should happen. What should happen? Presentation by individual faculty about their CO values, innovations in TLP and assessment, internal, external marks, correlation values, etc. All these presentations should be done by the individual faculty. All these should be done by the individual faculty. Everybody let them make presentations in the department. If that is the policy, see, when they make presentation, they have to do now. Actually, when you are asking them to make presentation, you are indirectly telling them, please do all these jobs like that. So they will do all that. So presentations by individual faculty. So if they have taken 2 courses, for the 2 courses, they have to make a presentation. This, let it go for 3 or 4 days, not in one meeting. In one meeting, all the faculty, no, you cannot do that. Let it go for few days, no problem. That's how it is. So this is with respect to the department. Next, yes, this is again at the department. Modification or fine tuning in the curriculum. Yes, you should be able to fine tune the curriculum now. You should be able to modify, or you should be able to fine tune the curriculum also. At the department level, you should be able to modify, you should be able to fine tune the curriculum. Yes, this is the responsibility at the department. And action plan for implementation of innovative TLP and assessment. This is again very important. See, how to innovate TLP, teaching learning process, how to innovate the assessment method, all these should come. Action plan for implementation of innovative TLP and assessment. These policies should be there in the department. So all the faculty will present and you should see whether innovation is there. If it is not there, you should say this course, I think this innovation you could have done. I think you suggest some faculty in a team assessment. I think you can use like that. Improvement should happen in the department. These kind of policies should be there. Action plan to strengthen the POs further. What is the action plan to strengthen the POs further? That is another important thing. Now, yes. Action plan for further overall improvement of the department. I think I showed those PPTs now. That is infrastructure, curriculum, TLP, all that. Action plan for the overall improvement of the department. Next, every department will have a strategic plan also. Review of the compliance to the department strategic plan. You should review the strategic plan also. How do you review the strategic plan? And what was your strategic plan? And are you lagging behind the strategic plan? Are you ahead of the strategic plan? Are you keeping in pace with the strategic plan? All these things will come into the picture. So you should review the department strategic plan also. Very important. Then now comes the institute level. What you should do at the institute level to decide upon the policy of CO attainment method. See, as I said, there are 3 types of policies. One, CO attainment method is decided at the institute level, central, or at the department level, or at the teacher level. So if it is at the institute level, institute decide this and you should tell all the departments, please follow this. To conduct institute level audit periodically in a year. See, just now we decided about the department level audit. So that will happen every semester, twice a year or something like that. Institute level audit also should be there. There should be an institute level audit at the control of examination and at the departments. All this TLP assessment audit should be there. And for that also you should have a proper plan. You should have proper formats. So audit should be there. There should be a policy. There should be a process for all these audit. Next, defining the process of academic audit duties and items. Whatever happened in the department, same thing should happen in the institute also. To define the format of institute level academic audit report. Yes, you should define the format also for this. Yes. To do the computation of POs, institute level, no, POs are done at the department level. This is not correct. This is just taken. Analysis of POs values for the academic year. This is done at the department level. I'm sorry, these 2 are done at the department level, not at the institute level. Next, this is important. Presentation by individual HODs about their PO values, innovations in TLP, assessment, internal marks, correlation values, etc. Every HOD will make a presentation. at the institute level, that policy. So when every HOD makes a presentation at the institute level, you have an idea of what department is at what level, what department is struggling in which PO, how it is happening in the department. All these things will come into the picture. So this will happen at the institute level. Okay. Next, committees at the department level. Department academic committee could be there. Department procurement committee could be there. Department audit committee could be there. Department faculty committee, all the faculty. You can define more committees also, no problem. These are some of the department level committees. Similarly, institute level committees, institute academic committee is there. Institute audit committee, institute HOD deans committee. Further, you can have so many other committees also, but carefully understand for each committee, roles and responsibilities, duties should be very clear, and also they should have a prescribed format to fill so that the format itself will force them to do their duty properly. That kind of policy, if an institute adopts, then nothing like that. Everything will fall in line, everything will go on. I tell you, you are ready, you will become ever ready. Actually, I don't have so much of time to go into the details of all these departmental committee, what are those responsibilities and all, but I gave a bird's view of all this. Especially, I wanted to concentrate on more on teachers this thing, because all of you are teachers, at least at your level, you should know what are the policies that you should, what are the jobs you should do, what are the policies you should do, like that. But I tell you, if you define proper policies, if you define proper processes in the institute level and the department level, you are always ready. Your documentation will happen continuously. You don't have to struggle in the last 2-3 months of the NAC visit or MBA visit. And I tell you, many of you may be thinking, sir, it is difficult, sir. It is not difficult. It is quite easy only if you do it properly. I feel it is quite easy. See, in our institution, I have to give a self-audit report. Then only I am given occasion. I think I'll just show my self-audit report. Last one I will show. I think I have a little more time. I will show this self-audit report. This also I will show. Okay. I think all of you are able to see my screen. I think I'll make it a little big. Okay. Faculty self-audit. This is my self-audit report. So what I have written course outcomes, I have written COPO mapping, I have written assessment tools, I have written all the different assessment tools, whatever I am doing, I have written all that. Assessment tool mapping to CO. Test 1, what are the COs that are covered for how many marks? Test 2, what are the COs, how many marks? Test 3, what are the COs, how many marks? Lab, all these I do. This is an assessment tool mapping to COs. With respect to COs, what assessment, what COs are covered, that table. This is lecture schedule. This is lesson plan, we call it now, like that. Tutorials, if you have any tutorials, you can write. Laboratory experiments, you can write down all these laboratory experiments, no problem. Self-ready descriptions and all. List the suggestions, comments for improvement of the course delivered during the previous academic year. What are the improvements? Next teacher, when it takes, what improvements you are suggesting? Very good. Actions taken to address the suggestion, comments. Yes, previous teacher, whatever suggestion you gave, what actions you have taken. Course and survey summary. This is micro level audit of assessment tools. Meaning in test 1, question 1A, 1B, 2A, 2B, what level they are. Bloom's taxonomy, remember, understand, apply, knowledge, analyze, design, any other total marks. Like that, for all of them, you go micro level audit you do to understand the levels of Bloom's. This is with respect to the levels of Bloom's. After that, micro level for SE question paper also, final question paper, semester examination. For that also, you do the same thing. Then you do the CO attainment. You can just see here, my target levels were 70%. All of them are above 70, but some of them are 7.37, 7.6. I should write some remarks also. Even if I have got 8.27, when the target is 7, how can I get 9? For that, I should write some remarks like that. Then CAE bar graph, SE bar graph, correlation and all you should do. And innovations in TLP best practices adopted, delivery assessment, all these you should write here. And ultimately faculty will sign and HOD will sign. After I submit all this, then only my vacations are approved. Otherwise, I will not get vacations. I will not get my vacations. Sir, is it clear? Okay. The self-audit is very, very important. At the end of the semester, I should submit a self-audit report. I should submit my course file. At the beginning of the course file, self-audit file should be there. Then only my vacations are done. my vocations are given. I can go on vocations. Otherwise, if I don't submit, my vocations are not given. Whenever I give, my vocations will be sanctioned. Like that. Sir, I think now all of you have heard so much. Sir, any discussions, any questions, sir? Yes, question and answers now. Any discussions, please tell, sir. No problem. Either you can put it in the chat box or you can unmute and ask, sir. No problem. Questions? Anything that you want, please ask.
Dear participant, do you have any queries? Means you can ask now. Please unmute yourself and then you can ask.
Feel free, no problem. Whatever doubt you have, feel free. Thank you. Deepa madam is telling excellent session, sir. If it is excellent, I'm very happy. Thank you. Any doubts, any questions? Let us have a discussion, no problem.
Sir, I have a question, sir.
Yes, madam. Yes, madam.
Every time by how much percentage we can improve the threshold or target? Because if I set a 70%, if I go on increasing, it will come to a state where I cannot increase further.
Yes. You are right, madam. You perfectly asked question. See, you cannot go on increasing the target levels. See, initially we were 60, we carefully came to 65, we came to 70, now we are at 75. Next year we are thinking of improving. You see, it should be slow. Target level cannot become 75, 80, 85. It is not mathematics. You cannot have target level simply like that. Yes, madam, you are right. You cannot increase simply 90, 95 is the target level, sir. 95 cannot be the target level, sir. It is not that it cannot be the target level for all the courses, for all the teachers. 95 is a little too high. So some 75, 80 is quite reasonable, but above 75, yes, you have to think a lot. Yes, you cannot simply improve. Sometimes what happens, being consistent itself is improvement. Meaning, your target level is 80, you are maintaining 80, that itself is an improvement. It's almost like losing weight. Suppose you are 100 kgs, I was 110 kgs last lockdown and all, I ate a lot and became, and then I lost 24 kgs, I became 86 kgs. So maintaining 86 itself is an improvement. I cannot shed down another 24 kgs, 40 kgs, 30 kgs, 20 kgs. I will become disappear. Only my boss will come. I cannot have. Carefully understand, many times maintaining a particular level itself is an improvement. That's how it is. Yes. Yes. Good question. Any other doubts, questions, please ask.
Sir, one thing, sir, regarding correlation, as you told about internal marks and the external.
Yes, sir.
It is depends upon how the quality of the questions we are going to ask in the internal marks. If it is similar type, we can ask as it is supposed to be asked in the main exam. I think the correlation should be high. I hope so, sir.
Yes, sir. Sir, I think you are understanding. Sir, you are in an autonomous institute or university institute, sir?
Autonomous, sir.
Autonomous, you have the freedom, sir. Because in autonomous, you can set questions, internal questions, almost the similar type of questions you can set for the external examination also. So for autonomous, you don't have any problem. But for university system, yes, whatever quality you set here in the university level, it may be different. But autonomous, yes, sir, you can maintain the correlation, sir, because you are responsible for internal question paper also. You are only responsible for external question paper also. That way you can maintain, sir, no problem, sir. At least minimum, sir, 0.5, 0. If it is above 0.5, it is understood to be satisfactory, like that, sir.
So may I?
Hello.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
May I?
Yes, sir. Please, sir.
Hello. Actually, I am in an undergraduate commerce and management college, and I was just listening to this calculation of COs and POs. So my question is there any rubrics available which help you quantify and measure this? How to calculate COs and POs in terms of numbers? So is there any rubrics available for that? Because at our university, we do not have this practiced.
Okay. Rubrics is not available. Methods are available.
Okay.
But you are asking a big question. Actually, one session question only you are asking.
Oh.
Because computation of COs and POs will take one session completely. I think Gladys Madam knows that. Because how to questions and all, how to map to the COs, how to compute the COs. So there are different methods in computation of COs and different methods of computation the POs. There is no rubrics, but there are methods for computation of COs and POs. That much I can tell. But in detail, it requires one session, madam.
So may I contact you after this session?
No problem. Gladys madam has my number. No
Yeah,
problem.
thank you so much, sir.
Yes, madam.
Hello,
Yes, sir.
this is Mike, sir.
Yes, sir.
Is it mandatory that Bloom's taxonomy should be used for defining outcomes?
What's the outcome, sir?
Is it mandatory that Bloom's taxonomy should be used for defining outcomes?
No, it is not mandatory. It is taken as a guideline, sir. Bloom's taxonomy is a standard guideline that is used. That is a reference. That's a guideline. It is not mandatory, sir. It is not mandatory, but it is a fantastic guideline. If you use it, definitely you will get quality course outcomes like that, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Yes.
Sir, good afternoon, sir.
Yes, sir.
Sir, which comes under internal audit, sir?
Sir, internal audit means your faculty only, some 2 senior faculty or any faculty will do the audit in your department. Suppose 20 people are there in the department, 2 people are identified as auditors. So they will only find out, they will only do the audit in the whole department. Their colleagues, files and all, they will only see and they will only do the audit, sir. That is internal audit.
Which are the things we have to check, sir? Their course files, their question papers.
Yes, sir. Sir, their course file, their question papers, quality of COs, CO/PO mapping. That's what I told. What they should check, that you should only department only should decide. Because what should be audited? Their valuation should be done, experiments should be done. So what should be audited, that department only should make. That is why I told the format should be made. Therefore, according to the format, he will audit everything.
Okay.
Like that, sir. So whatever you think, yes, this requires an audit, you can put it in the audit report format so that they will do audit properly, internal audit or external audit, like that, sir.
How can I differentiate, sir? External audit means the external people will come and audit, or is it my wrong opinion?
No, sir, external people will come and audit. Sir, what happens is, so when you do internal audit for your department, many times what happens, you cannot be very critical because they are your colleagues, you have to go for coffee next day to the canteen with them. Might be, no, if you are critical, if it is very sportive, that is fine, fantastic, no problem. Otherwise, you have these kind of small issues. Suppose you call me to your college to do the audit, I will do the audit perfectly because I don't have any obligations at all. So everything, whatever is white, I will tell white, whatever is black, I will tell black. I will do a neat audit and I'll give, because I am an external auditor. I don't have any obligations in your department. I don't have any interest. Only interest is the development of the department. Therefore, external auditors will have, it is assumed that they do more a good job than the internal audit. That's how it is, but may not be always true.
Oh, thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Hello, sir.
Yes, sir.
Sir. Good afternoon, sir. Regarding
Good afternoon,
as Bloom's taxonomy,
Yes, sir.
as you know that we are going to with COs, means these COs of this is the Bloom's taxonomy, remembering, analyzing. Is it what level of Bloom's taxonomy we are achieving with each course? Is it that is more important? How we can regarding Bloom's taxonomy with respect to the course outcomes? So how many Bloom's taxonomy has been achieved in a particular internal assessments or internal one question paper?
So what happens is, sir, it is like this. How to frame quality COs, that is again a session. You are asking a session question. How to frame quality COs, normally you take one session to do this. If your question is how to decide what COs are covered in test 1, sir, you take all the questions of test 1, sir. Whatever questions of test 1 are there, you would have mapped to appropriate COs. You will come to know in test 1 what are the COs that are done. And apart from that, the questions, whatever you are asking, you should be able to map it to Bloom's taxonomy also. The question is mapped to CO also, it is mapped to Bloom's taxonomy also. Is it at the remember level, understand level, apply level, analyze level, or design level? You should be able to write down that also. Meaning a question, you should be able to map it to CO also, you should be able to map it to Bloom's taxonomy also. That way, whatever audit report I showed, you can fill both of them. Like that, sir.
Each course will not satisfy all the levels of that Bloom's taxonomy.
No, it is not mandatory. It is not mandatory. It is not mandatory that every course should meet all the CO, all the Bloom's tax. No, that is not mandated. Some basic course, there is no design at all, that's okay, no problem. When you are making it mandatory, don't make it mandatory, sir.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Because if you make it mandatory, suppose Constitution of India, how to do design there? Can you design a new Constitution of India? No, sir. Some courses, yes, design level will not happen. That's okay, no problem.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Any other questions, sir?
Sir, is it that Bloom's taxonomy has to be in ascending order, that if remembering is 10%, then analysis and creating should be in higher percent in all?
No, there is no rule like that.
It's not rule like that.
No.
Okay.
Sir, I have a question, sir.
Yes, madam.
In the final semester end examination, what
Yes.
are the appropriate Bloom's taxonomy level that can be incorporated? Because at the time of examination, it is not true that they can create certain things and then they can evaluate certain things. So what are the appropriate levels that can be asked in the SE question paper, sir?
Depends on the course, madam. It cannot be generic. It depends. It changes from course to course because it depends on the course. Some course may have only design questions. Some courses may not have any design questions. It depends on the course, madam. You cannot be very generic on that question. It definitely depends on the course.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yes,
This
sir.
is Hemlata from Bharat University.
Yes, sir.
Sir, actually, if you are going to have the percentage for each and every objectives, that is for remember, understanding, apply, and all, it should be in order, or it can be in any order, sir. When we are going to give the scores outcomes, when you are going to write the scores outcomes, it should be in the order, sir. It should be in that form. Remember,
No,
understand.
it can be any order, madam. No, it can be any order, but conventionally people write remember to design, meaning first COs, initial COs and all, they write remember, understand and all. Then they go to design, create and all, they write. There is a convention, but there is no rule.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Yes, madam. Gladys madam is seeing the time. It is 3:57. 3 more minutes are left.
Yes, sir. But people ask questions, sir.
No problem. No problem. Any other questions? I am ready to answer.
Yes, sir. Participants, any other questions? Yes, Janardhan sir. Yes, sir. Ask question.
Sir, one more question, sir.
Yes, sir.
So there is some attainment, sir. When we do the calculations, attainments, direct and indirect attainment calculations.
Yes, sir.
So direct means we can get from the marks.
Yes, sir.
So I have a doubt regarding indirect assessment and proof. How can we prove that is the indirect assessment and this what achievement like that?
See, for COs, indirect assessment is the quotient surveys. Using the quotient surveys, you get the indirect assessment value.
Core survey means simply what we are practicing, giving few questions to the students.
Yeah.
And asking the response. Can I take it as an indirect, sir?
Yeah, that's what is indirect assessment. Quotient surveys are indirect assessment.
Oh, okay.
Yes, sir.
Any other is there, sir? Indirect?
No, sir. For COs, only quotient surveys.
Quotient survey.
Yes, sir.
Sir, one more doubt.
Yes, sir.
When you calculate, see, for example, 60% we achieved that particular CO.
Yeah.
What we said is 60% of students is got the marks of so and so certain level. Say, for example, 15 marks out of 20. If I say particular CO is achieved 60%, I should have a target, na, sir? 60% of students.
Yes, you define the target. What is your target? Sir, it is very simple, sir. If your son is studying SLC, what is the target that you give to him? Like that, you fix the target, sir.
I'll go for 90 marks.
Then, sir, there you tell for your son 90 marks. Here also appropriately you should fix the target, sir. Like that, sir. Targets are fixed. Use your own target. Oh, I will achieve this target. Like that, sir. That's it. Simple, sir. You can define the target, sir.
So there is no particular thing. Say if sometimes what happened when we face the NBA, they asked me why you have set this target. How you set this target?
Sir, normally what happens, initially, when you are starting NBA, might be 5-6 years back, maybe you started with some 60, then you improve 65, 70, 75, like that. That's all, sir. We are gradually increasing our target values. Like that simple. Target values will increase. So normally target values will not come down. Target values will increase. So now we are 70, 80, sir. Like that, sir. Target values.
Oh.
But when you are lower side, then there is definitely a question. Suppose your target is only 40, then there is a question. Suppose you have given only 40 marks as the target for your child, then sir, why did you give only 40, sir? You could have given 70, sir. That question will come. Normally when it is 70, then no problem. Like that, sir.
Oh, thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Hi, yes, madam. Gladys, madam.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I have done, madam. 4 o'clock. I have exceeded 1 minute.
Yes, sir. Really great, sir. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, madam.
Any other questions from participants? Okay, sir. We can conclude our session, sir.
Yes, madam. Madam, thank you.
Yes, sir. On
Participants,
behalf
thank you
of
very much for your
Velammal
fantastic
Institute of
interaction. Madam, I would like to thank all the participants for their fantastic interactions, madam.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. The phase 3 participants are excellent, sir.
Good, madam. Good,
When
madam.
compared to phase 1 and phase 2,
Okay.
phase 3 participants interactions are good, actually.
Very good. So thank you all the participants. May God bless all of you. Thank you.
Yes, yes, thank you, sir. Behalf of Velammal Institute of Technology and the Department of CSE, and behalf of myself, I expressing my wholehearted thanks to you, sir. And also, I am expressing my hearty thanks to all the participants for participating this event. Thank you all.
Thank you, Gladys, madam. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Yes,
Thank you. I will call you later, sir.
no problem. Okay.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir.
Madam, shall we wind up the section, madam?